Today we are reacting to World War 3 starting, and just like my shirt says down here, the world is on fire. The world might actually be on fire in real life, but let's put some news here. Let's get educational here. I will add my obviously I'll add my political input. I did get my 3-year double master's degree at Cambridge and Oxford University, so that I feel like that does give me the rights to give political information.
On the president's social media post, he says that the United States bombed these.
So apparently, if I got my head around things straight, the USA bombed Iran 3 times in the nuclear sites.
3 nuclear sites in Iran, including a full payload of bombs dropped on the primary site. That would, Courtney, imply, at least for all practical purposes, that in order to successfully bomb that site, the United States would have used those buster bombs that have yet to be utilized on these on B-2 bombers.
Hear me out. If you bomb I'm trying to like wrap my head around this. Technically, if a nuclear bomb can explode, and surely if you were to bomb a nuclear site, doesn't that make a bigger explosion? Like in Minecraft, if I were to blow up TNT on another piece of TNT, both TNTs are gonna explode. So I'm trying to figure out how one bomb on another bomb didn't do.
Yeah, so we
kind of big, right?
We don't have a lot of detail at this point. Here's a couple things that I would take away from the president's Truth Social. Number one, he said we have completed are very successful. That to me would indicate that this was sort of the bombers went in, or the air, potentially other aircraft, most likely other aircraft as well, went in here, they conducted this bombing run, and they got out. They've cleared Iranian airspace. That's generally...
These jets have so much shorter. I was watching a TikTok comment earlier. It said, if you see these, they're not going after you. Like, apparently they're meant to be like stealth bombers. Psst,
the point
that is
at which
aura.
Military officials or the White
Look
House,
at that.
I guess, would
That's like
release
Star
any
Wars.
kind of information once they are clear of that potentially
like,
dangerous airspace over Iran. What we don't know is exactly what was used here. So if we look at some of the factors that we've seen today, we know that some B-2 bombers, a handful of them took off from Whiteman Air Force Base over Missouri. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. That is enough time for them to get to Iran. They have the ability, Jose, to fly extremely long distances. So we're talking like 3-day missions, refueling in the air.
3 days on a flight, you know how your legs are gonna be killing you. I remember the longest flight I've ever been on is like 8 hours, and I could not feel my legs. So imagine being a pilot sitting in a plane for 3 hours, 3 days.
Never actually touching ground.
Crazy.
Again, we don't have confirmation that was what was used here, but we have been talking all week about how difficult it would be to actually bomb Fordo. The actual facility sits somewhere in the neighborhood of about 300 feet below the surface of the earth, and it's underneath reinforced concrete. Now, the U.S. has these bunker busters you mentioned. They're technically called a massive ordnance penetrator. And what they are, these huge, really heavy bombs. They're only about 5,000 or 6,000 pounds of total explosives, but they're about 30,000 pounds in total.
Sorry.
Payload, meaning that the majority of that weight is coming from these really heavy, strong, basically outer casings that have the ability to penetrate deep into the earth about 200 feet down before detonating. Jose, if they really wanted...
Like, who even be making these though? Like, how does one even come up with a concept of a literal drill missile?
To take out Fordo, it would take a number of these mops or these bunker busters to just continue to pound at that concrete until they're able to fully break through it. Again, we don't know that that was used, but it makes the most sense. And as we've been saying,
that makes sense.
It's one of the capabilities that Israel simply does not have. They don't have bombs of this size, and they don't have the aircraft, the B-2, that are able to actually...
Wait, hold up. My geography knowledge is so off. So if this is Iran and this is Israel, how they like? So what these two countries doing in the middle? They're just like sandwiched. What are they supposed to be doing? Like these poor two countries. I thought they were bordering. That's why they could fight. Oh my God, silly me.
Deploy them. One thing I was surprised about this was that the U.S. hit 3 different sites, as we heard from the president here tonight. Not just at Fordo that we've been talking about, they also hit Natanz. Israel has already been striking Natanz over the last week plus now, and they also hit Esfahan. Now, the next big question is, well, several questions. One, is the U.S. going to continue? Is this a one and done? Based on the president's statement, he said completed. You know, we'll take that for now as to be this mission right now is completed for the United States. The next question, will Iran respond and how? The biggest concern is that Iran, or more likely Iranian proxies, would go after U.S. installations and assets in the region. There's a lot of them right within very close striking distance.
Thankfully, I'm not living in the U.S. though, but I feel like, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it real. I feel like war obviously was never good. I'm not even gonna lie, was never good. But what's the point of war if you're just like pressing buttons and it's planes? Like, that's not even cool. Like, at least drop me onto the battlefield. MP5, bulletproof armor, head, maybe some AirPods in. For what I'm saying, blasting that King Von, really on that demon time, so I could go. You feel what I'm saying? Now it's just like these guys in planes, like bomb, bomb, bomb. Like, where's the fun in? Obviously, war's never. I wouldn't fight. I wouldn't fight in a war because I don't believe in war, obviously. But I'm just saying.
Of Iran. But one thing that the U.S. has going for them in this is, number one, they've started getting some Americans out of there. They've started moving some assets around to get them out of harm's way. But also, in the last 9 days or so, Israel has really taken out a lot of Iran's conventional capabilities as well, not just going after their nuclear sites. So we're talking about their radars, their launchers, and even some of their ballistic missiles. The third big concern here is, when you're hitting a nuclear site, or 3 of them, is there potential for radioactive material to spill into the ground?
This is what I said. This is what I do be saying. I like this reporter. This reporter is speaking facts. This is what I literally said.
To spill into the atmosphere. Jose, I am far from an expert on nuclear material and radioactive material, but I have been reaching out to people who are experts on this. They say that the risk of that at Fordo is expected to be relatively low. James Acton, who's an expert on these sorts of issues, says that the material there is very low in radioactivity anyway at Fordo. And so
is this what a nuclear base looks like? Who would have thought? I thought it looked something cool at least. Like, you know, in like Fortnite, you got the big power plants and stuff. I thought it looked something like that. I didn't think a nuclear base would be boring like this. They could at least make it have a nice little design. Maybe hire me as an exterior designer. Get some plants going, a little bit of scenery, a bush, just to get, you know, built better atmosphere going. But
the risk of it spilling into the atmosphere is low. The same with Natanz. We also heard from the IAEA this week. After those first strikes on Natanz, they said there is very little indication of anything getting out. The big concern here is if they were to hit Bushehr. That's at one of the facilities where there could be some sort of a fallout of radioactive material.
That's not good. Oh, Bushehr is down here.
These are all questions that are up in the air. And Courtney, once again, I can't thank you enough for the knowledge that you bring to us. But the fact that the president says that this main site was successfully hit, it could only be successfully destroyed by those ordinances that you were referring to. And in a way, they're not only bombs, they're actually almost like drill tips that are able to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a drill. It's like deploying a mighty miner from Clash Royale with a rocket, if that makes sense. For Clash Royale knowledge, that's pretty much what a nuclear bomb is.
Penetrate deep in the ground and then at a predetermined distance or depth detonate. What are the possibilities that any other ordnance could have been used?
Very high. I think that again, we don't know, but the sorts of planning that was going into this that we've been hearing, the sorts of ideas that have been out there. Remember, this is not like, 10 days ago, the United States and Israel started talking about the potential for one day going after Iran's nuclear program and what it would look like. These are the kinds of plans that have been there for years and years, and they just update them and they dust them off as things develop. the plans I have heard about have generally included more than just using these massive ordnance penetrators. They've included others as well.
Oh, is she like a secret agent or something about hearing about plans and that?
The big question is, as the sun starts to come up over Iran in an hour or two, whenever it is will the U.S. or Israel or anyone be able to get any kind of a ground assessment of exactly what happened on the ground if they were able to, with these bombs, really obliterate everything on the ground and really destroy the facility? Or is there some way that with these bombs that they drop, they can almost make it collapse in on itself, for all intents and purposes, entomb itself underground so that it still would be rendered unusable?
We thank you for watching, and remember...
Damn, crazy video there. Crazy things going on in the world right now. I hate to say it, but it looks like World War 3 is approaching us. And let me tell you one thing. You see, I'm a YouTuber. You know, I can't do fighting. You know, I can't. So if World War 3 were to come up, then good luck for all the ones taking part. Me personally, you know, I am missing both my legs. You can't see because I'm obviously sitting down. And I wouldn't be able to partake in the war. But obviously war is never good, never good. And I feel like what even is this war about though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like everyone's talking about war, this war. Like I'm just trying to figure out how it started. You feel what I'm saying? Cause like technically, I feel like every country should just be grateful for the. Feel what I'm saying? The land they got. Always trying to be greedy. Feel what I'm saying? That's like me. I'm in my room, and my parents' room is right there. That's like me trying to infiltrate their room, expand my room. That's kind of how war starts. I feel like that's a really good analogy. But yeah, stay safe if you're watching this from Iran, although I highly doubt you are, because you probably got more important things to worry about. Same with the US, Israel, all the, you know, wherever you're watching this from, I want you to stay safe, man. And it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Hopefully this ain't the last high and crash video, but yeah, it's crazy though. It's crazy. I remember I woke up this morning, I hear US bombs are on. I'm like, oh my god, what did I miss in my sleep? You feel what I'm saying? What did I miss in my sleep? Crazy things, crazy things. But I don't even know why I'm still talking at this point. I'm trying to figure out something smart to say, maybe to like resolve the war myself. You know, I don't know. I don't know. But if you did enjoy the video and you do not want to go to war, which none of us should, because war is a bad thing, please do like and subscribe, and I'll sort something out. Don't worry. I'm working on a couple stuff. You know, me and President Trump and the President of Iran. You know, I'm gonna sit him down. I'm at office. I'm gonna have a stern talk. I'm gonna tell him what I'm tell him what's straight. You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck with each of them. And I myself, High and Crash, will end the war. Please subscribe.